So BLM have decided to sue themselves, which is the biggest of biggest brain moves I could have thought that they would have done in response to becoming irrelevant.
And as far as you've told me, from what I can gather from all of this, it's not over ideological things. It's becoming about that now that they're starting to sling mud at one another, but it's mainly about money.
Yeah, it seems that it's two retards who want money, and so there's a lot of money left, so they're just going to fight over it. And, well, there is some ideological aspect, of course, being that they're both commies, unironically, and we'll go through their own statements which prove that. And of course, we'll start off here just by mentioning Frank Dikotter's Mal's Great Famine book club, which you can go and check out at lotus.com in case you want to learn more about communism and its results, and nothing else. But otherwise, we shall quickly remind ourselves of the people who run BLM. Remember that here we have to make a distinction. There's BLM Grassroots, and there's BLM Global National Foundation, or whatever stupid-ass name they have.
And what are the differences between these two organizations?
So you got the grassroots chapters, and they all come together to be BLM Grassroots, which is headed
So they're
by,
the ones starting the riots?
and then you have BLM Global National Foundation Fund, stupid name for tax reasons.
And they're the ones encouraging the riots?
They're the ones who have taken all the money and enjoying it. So
okay.
That's the dispute. We will start off just by remembering this clip here, which is the guys who run BLM, well, gals, I should say, all sitting around. And you got Patrice Cullors on the left and Abdullah on the right there. The lady in the middle is not relevant to this substance.
I'm just... Immediately, before we even hear anything, the crap-eating grins.
Yes.
It's insufferable.
For people who haven't seen this clip, because they deleted it from their own YouTube channel as soon as they
I wonder
realized
why.
it was a bad look. This is them in their like $6 million mansion here, filming about how they got away with it. So that's
in one of her $6 million mansions.
yeah, let's play.
I'm so glad to have the both of you here and in person.
Yes.
It's been a really intense year and a half.
That was a nice way to talk about it.
Right. And I look up to the both of you so much. You know, you're big sisters to me, you're movement leaders, you're gangsters.
Portal opened,
Yes.
right? And how the whole community had to rush in
Yeah.
to save D,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
To save our black future,
Yep.
right? Like that's what was happening, but it wasn't Hippolyta. It's
Yeah.
George Floyd's spirit holding
Yeah.
it open. Remember, we used to pretend like we weren't, had to pretend like we weren't. Defund the police. Because this is a budget issue, right?
Yes. It's like
And now we
came out.
are talking about abolition. Yeah, we kind of just mean abolition.
Well, that's very interesting how smug they are going completely mask off there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a nice little insight into the sorts of tactics these organisations use when they say, remember when we were pretend that we just wanted budget reform.
Of course, but it's also the revealing aspect that they are racial socialists, as everyone has rightly noted.
They're after a black future,
Yes,
which
and
bodes well.
we must secure the existence of our black future and the anyway. But also they just sit around in their $6 million mansion with their champagne, cheering on about how they managed to use George
Literal
Floyd's
champagne
spirit.
socialists right here.
Yes, they use George Floyd's spirit to hold open the gate to make themselves rich, which is
And metaphorically speaking, they did.
Yeah. I mean, it's from their mouths again. So this isn't like, oh, the right wingers are making this up. No, like this is their own YouTube channel. But we'll move to the story itself, which is them suing themselves. As you can see here, Black Lives Matter grassroots chapters sue Global Foundation over funds. Oh boy. A coalition of Black Lives Matter chapters has filed a lawsuit against the BLM Global Network Foundation, a non-profit organization that grew out of the protest movement, accusing the foundation of defrauding the local activist groups.
Yeah, all we got was the loot from the stores we broke into.
How are you defrauded? Like, you knew you were in on this, surely. Like, this whole thing was a scam. The complaint was filed on Thursday by BLM Grassroots, an entity made up of 26 BLM chapters in the United States, UK, and Canada. Which, again, why? Like, why outside of the US, even in the slightest? I mean, it makes no sense in the US either, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I guess the scam is just that good. The local organizers allege that the foundation, which has been a clearinghouse for donations, I think I mean a money laundering den, to support BLM over the years, has fundraised off the work of the chapters, but mismanaged the funds and had shut local chapters out of decision-making.
Mismanaged. Excellent little turn of phrase right there.
Like, yeah, we were on the ground fundraising, saying, give us all your money and like racism will go or something.
It was just a complete accident, guys. You know, like I was sitting on the sofa and the money vanished, and you know, it might be back down there. I've just not had a chance to look yet.
We sent it all to our pimp, and the pimp took all the money, and now I'm mad. So yeah, the grassroots group, which includes BLM chapters in Los Angeles, Michigan, Atlanta, and Boston, also alleges that the foundation, which runs at BlackLivesMatter.com, has locked them out of the main BLM social media accounts. Oh, really?
I think this is something. It's interesting that it's gone straight to the lawsuits now, because this is something that each of the individual chapters had been complaining about for a while now. So ever since really the summer of 2020, they were like, "Oh, we did all of these protests, raised all of this money.
Yeah.
Where's the money gone?"
We raised it by scaring the crap out of companies and people, and then...
Yeah, but even back then, I looked at the website and it was like, "Oh yeah, we've managed to raise $86 million." And then you look at, "Oh, where's that money going to?" "Oh, we've done $87,000 worth of community work."
Yeah, but it's also just the aspect of that several million you get from Disney or Microsoft. You got it from threatening to destroy their stores. So again, I mean, fundraising is a very generous term when describing these groups.
Almost like domestic terrorists, but they're the parents.
But they mention in here that, oh my god, we've been shut out of the BLM social media accounts. It's like, oh my god, are you serious? Really? Because if we go to the next one here, I thought I took a whole team of people to run this. I didn't realize it was all one guy. Whoa! For people listening, it's BLM just tweeting abolition, not even capitalizing the A.
No punctuation, no full stop, just abolition. Yeah. This is so lazy.
Can you hover over that account for a second, John? There's 185 like-a-roonies.
This would be like if, I don't
1 million followers.
Can you imagine if Martin Luther King had just gotten up in front of that crowd in a dressing gown and just walked up to the microphone, cup of joe in hand, racism's bad, guys.
With some champagne, just go, yeah, civil rights, innit? Just chewing away. He can't be bothered to do any work. Yeah, so there we are. Oh, don't you know this is all one person running it? I'm shocked. But let's go back to the article because they have more complaints. Quote, the assets that we built, the financial resources, the social media platforms, and the name Black Lives Matter have been taken from us and are under the control of consultants, said Dr. Abdullah. This will be the lady on the right you saw in that previous segment, in which she was very happy to sit around and drink champagne in the $6 million mansion.
Wait, so she's trying to play both sides here?
Yes, she's now the director of BLM Grassroots and the co-founder of BLM Los Angeles, and she's the one suing Colors here, except Colors has stepped down. So
her old friend Colors.
Yes, so they were both, a couple of months ago, sat in the same $6 million mansion, drinking champagne and filming videos, talking about how they got away with it. But all of a sudden, Abdullah is like, hang on a tick.
I've been had.
Oh, they've been, I think money has been wasted. I think they've been wasting money on champagne and mansions, don't you know? It's like, lady, you're on camera, enjoying it.
Now, stop me if you disagree, but I'm sensing a little bit of some kind of money-making scheme going on right here.
Like
this seems less than sincere, you know?
I feel like Abdullah might just want more money.
Yeah.
So. The suit filed in Los Angeles' Superior Court seeks damages and restitution, as well as a temporary restraining order to block the foundation from using the BLM accounts and website. Which is hilarious. What are they going to do? Tweet more words like abolition just again and again. They've got that reason. They're just going to tweet Gibbs by the end of this podcast, I bet. The complaint names the foundation and, I don't know how you say his name, Shamaloya Bowers? Just going to say Bowers.
That sounds about right.
A consultant whose firm was paid over $2 million by BLM Foundation in the fiscal year of 2020. So there's the thing. So Patricia Cullors, the lady on the left, she stepped down because there are a bunch of media reports showing that she, used all the money on mansions. So she was like, well, I better leave. See you guys.
My work here is done. Look at all the good I've done for the country.
I've increased black joy so much for me and my family. Anyway, so I've left this Bowers character in charge. And what did Bowers do? He immediately charged $2 million to his own foundation. His own consulting firm. So he basically just pocketed $2 million. And was like, right, there we go. Trust me. No corruption here. Colors is gone. Like, okay, right. They say in here that Colors announced she was stepping down because of everyone finding out about the mansions. Colors named the two organizers to serve as interim senior executives, but the two organizers tapped to be leaders, announced in the months later, said that they never ended up starting because they couldn't actually reach an agreement on the scope of their positions. So she wouldn't hand over the money, that's what that is. According to the suit, Bowers, who had been handling the administration of the foundation under Colors, took control of the operation and then shut out BLM Grassroots. So Abdullah and her
So,
friends.
so he saw how good the grift was, got handed the keys to the kingdom, and then just carried on the grift as usual.
So it's like, Patricia made 17 mil. I can pocket 2 mil right now, and then I'll get the rest.
Yeah, I'll figure the rest out later. Brilliant.
What is anyone actually going to do? Well, nothing. I mean, literally, like BLM grassroots could do nothing. They had to resolve to suing the organization itself.
I mean, people could, stop donating to them, and then if they threaten riots again, law enforcement could actually prevent those riots or do something about. No, we've got to just keep giving them the money.
No, so the bro's taken 2 mil, presumably will have taken more. They say in here, Abdullah, we're fighting for the very soul of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter belongs to the people who birthed it and built it. Okay, so literally, I deserve that money. Like, that's what you're saying. It's like, I want it. Because the Global Foundation, like, no one cares about that name. No one cares about that organization. You want the 60 mil that's in the coffers. That's what you want.
Like, I mean, if you wanted to still pass off this obvious scam as a legitimate organization that is dedicated to doing things they say that they are, I would like to see some evidence of how anything that they've done has improved literally any black person's life in America. Just one person. And maybe you could justify some of the money that was given. Obviously not the tens of millions, but at least you would be able to say, okay, they've done someone some good.
I don't have it to note, but if my memory serves me right, Abdullah actually, I believe she stood on a stage with, I think it was like Breonna Taylor's family members or something, or some other BLM martyr, who started and said, we need to raise money for the family because they need to bury their relative. It's going to cost $5,000, so please donate. And they raised like $100,000. And the lady who needed $5,000 to bury the relative got none.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the organization took it all.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Breonna Taylor. Perhaps it was.
Might have been someone else. It was another BLM.
Yeah, but I know the story you're on about.
Yeah. Anyway, they're saying here Jacob Blake Sr., because of course, let's go back to another martyr, whose son was shot by Kenosha police and left paralyzed. Don't know how that happened. It's not like he had a knife or anything. Has worked with Abdullah and Grassroots Group to support the other families and said that he hoped the foundation and Bowers would relinquish control. It's a slap in the face again to all black and brown people who have to suffer in our own movement, raising and talking over funds that we were for the advancement of black and brown people. It's unfathomable, he says. Just remind ourselves, you don't know who Jacob Blake was or remember what happened. If you go to the next one here, is the chap had the knife, was told to drop the knife, didn't drop the knife, walked into his car, and then when he turned around was shot because what were you expecting to happen?
No, not just got shot after refusing, got tased twice, did nothing to him.
Yeah.
And then was retrieving what people were presuming was a gun from his car.
Because he wouldn't drop the knife, which, kind of makes people uncomfortable when they're like, please drop the bloody knife. And you're like, no.
And the phone call that was made to the police referred to Jacob Blake by name.
But let's not rehash the whole case again, because the point is that clearly this is a group of immoral actors who want the money against another group of immoral actors who have the money and want to keep the money. That's all this is.
I've only got 3 mansions. Patrice is still beating me. Arr.
Yeah, like it's so transparent in all of this. Like this whole thing was a grift. Everyone got stolen, and then all the money is just being fought over by a group of, just assholes. If you go to the next one here.
I mean, when Colours described the rest of them in that little clip as gangsters, they are kind of acting like it.
Yeah, because here's Bowers over here. The lawsuit alleges he stole 10 mil. So we have confirmed that he took 2 mil.
So he's trying to catch up.
Yeah, so he took 2 mil for his own consulting firm because he consulted so hard. He consulted so damn hard that year that he needed the 2.1 mil.
Oh, I'm consulting. Ooh.
He's going to consult any minute now, and he did it. And got paid 2 mil for that.
I've consulted everywhere.
And then presumably he's been consulting even harder since. And BLM Grassroots say that he took 10 mil. He says, quote, "It's the most insane thing I've ever read in a court pleading. And it's signed under penalty of perjury when they know it's a lie," said Bowers, adding that the foundation has recently undergone audits that show he did not take $10 million to his firm. But you did take 2.1 last year. So why should we believe you that you didn't do, some real hard consulting the next year and get another several mil? Just obvious BS. They write in here, though, the foundation was rocked by controversy after the Post revealed in April 2021 that one of its founders, Patrice Cullors, went on a real estate buying spree, spending more than $3 million dues on homes in Los Angeles, outside Atlanta. Because if you go to the next one here, we have that story itself, which is, yes, she spent 3 mil on all that stuff. They write later, New York Times Magazine revealed that the group secretly spent 6 mil on a mansion in Los Angeles. Next link, please. There you have it. Yes. Yes, indeedy. So that's we're up to 9 mil now from Patrice. And then they spent another 8 million on a property in Toronto. This under her, I think it's her wife's
So
name.
I love the little caption here. Allies and critics have questioned where the money has gone.
We can tell you.
Yeah, it's in the headline.
There's a bill of sale. If you go to the next one here, this is the another 8 mil in Canada, just to keep us all up the track as to what Patrice got out of all that, which is, about 17 mil in total to cull his name.
And then you could look at Bowers, all the money that he's taken for
He's
himself.
taken confirmed 2.1, alleged 10. So
So I mean,
we're up to 27 mil.
So we're still need accounting for about
30 mil?
No, because 86 million is the figure that I saw. So about 59. Another 59 million. I mean, just look around you. If you're in a fancy estate over in America, just look to your neighbors and just tell us where that money's gone.
If some really just unbearable folks have turned up who just keep whining about white supremacy and they're now living in their new mansions, you send us
Let us know.
tips at Lotus. Anyway, but you can see why Abdullah is incredibly salty. It's just like, I didn't get anything. I was like, you didn't.
Wait, did she not get any of the big multi-million-dollar mansions?
Seems not.
Are
Too
you sure?
bad.
All right.
Yeah. But if you go to the Black Lives Matter website, they've responded to all of this and they've learnt nothing. Of course, they've learnt nothing. What did one expect?
Oh, that first sentence. Today we should be talking about. Just immediately brush over the whole thing. It's not about us, guys. It's about America.
So I stole all this money, and people are upset about that. So stop talking about me. Literally the opening line. Today we should be talking about Biden's Save for America plan, which funds the police and enables and encourages state-sanctioned violence against our communities. Oh, interesting to know. Yeah, even Joe Biden, he's not communist enough.
No, we want community-sanctioned violence against the own communities.
Yeah, so we kill each other, it's not violence. Right, okay. We should be talking about the water crisis in Jackson, where white supremacist leaders have allowed the city's water system to fail, which is endangering and killing our people. So, again, the racial
people
socialists.
as well, but
No, our people. Remember, because that's all they care about. Black and brown people are our race, Ein Volkeinreich.
they'll
That is their
step
main
on
target.
white babies if they need to get what they want.
Literally. You might wonder what kind of crack they're smoking these days about the fact that, don't you know, white supremacists are killing our people in Jackson. If you go to the next link here, this is the reason why. Headlines like this from Salon. There are no white people here. Jackson's water crisis explained. Okay.
Oh, I've seen this, yeah.
Yep. To go to the next one here, we have The Guardian with a similar headline going with, if white people were still here, this wouldn't have happened. Interesting. The complaint being that they want access to white people. Like we're some kind of natural resource.
No, like we're the saviors, the white saviors.
The ones who are going to make sure things like this don't happen.
So what they're saying is that when white people leave, things fall apart.
And that's white supremacy's fault. Because we need white people here to run the... I don't know if they thought about that sentence.
Interesting angle.
We'll go back to their sentence, though, because they continue. They say, instead of talking about BLM and whatnot, we face yet another round of struggle for control of one organization. What do you mean the only organization, the one with the money? We, the board, have zero interest in taking significant time away from our work towards building a solid, trusted foundation. Dude, you are literally known for one thing, and that's money laundering. That's all anyone knows.
Solid, trusted foundation. We need good foundations for our money laundering, Callum.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue people know the name Black Lives Matter. They know it's an organization. But BLM, Global National Fund, who gives a crap about whatever the words are, like, you are literally just known for being the money launderers of the movement.
The problem is, sadly, to people like us, they're known as that. But if you speak to normies in the street, they will still get taken away by the overt emotionality of that name, Black Lives Matter. What, you don't support Black Lives Matter, the organisation? That must mean you're a Klans member.
No, I think money laundering should be a crime.
Oh, like a Klan, like the Klan did.
Well, they get further and do end up saying that. We are focused on the future, and we have been deeply engaged with and committed to black liberation work, such as me and my family, having new mansions. Very
Liberated from only upper middle class.
They would rather take the same steps of our white oppressors and utilize the criminal legal system, which is propped up by white supremacy, open brackets, the same system they say they want to dismantle, to solve movement disputes. This is an amazing accusation. They are saying that you suing us is white supremacy. So Abdullah, I'm sorry, you and all of BLM grassroots are basically white people now.
You are no longer gangster, Abdullah.
For pointing out that we launder money and have stolen it all. So suing us is white supremacy. That's the defense.
I'm surprised it took this long for one of them to start flinging the white supremacist accusations at the other.
Yeah. Although I do wonder, like, what do they think Abdullah and her people should do? Because if you know, the legal system is off the cards, because that's white supremacy. I mean, presumably the black liberation way of doing this would be the way they did it in the summer, which is just, I don't know, go down to all the mansions and burn them down. Or is that what they're saying should be the right thing to do? Because what else should they do?
Hood justice will prevail.
Presumably. They say in here, the Leadership Council discussed transferring certain assets to BLM grassroots under Abdullah's leadership. That course of action changed when the Leadership Council received a letter in January 2022. Oh, what's the other side of the story? Where BLM grassroots leaders detailing countless allegations of Abdullah's financial malfeasance. Oh, colour me shocked. It's like, right, so we're all corrupt and steal money, say BLM Global Foundation. But Abdullah is also corrupt and steals money. So we can't trust her.
The actual accusation they're making there is, no, see, we were the good ones. We were the pure ones. We kept our hands off that money. Now Abdullah, on the other hand,
They say in here, there's a list of quotes from BLM grassroots. They say some members of grassroots team secretly took a book writing retreat. Where do you think they went to this book writing retreat? You know, somewhere in the woods, maybe, to get away from white people.
Perhaps the desert, so they could meditate. You know, become more spiritual.
They flew everyone to Jamaica without notifying anyone of the leadership team, and didn't ask for any budgetary expenditure. Apparently,
were they in the notoriously crime-ridden, poor streets of general Jamaica, or were they in the lovely resorts?
I don't think they were there to bring black joy. I think they were there to get black joy.
Ah, okay.
So. Also, apparently, a budget exceeding $7 million was created among grassroots, an organization that has failed to hire even one full-time staff member. So a $7 million budget is unlikely to be well managed, right? Their own people. BLM Global Network Foundation learns that BLM grassroots leaders were also giving themselves a $10,000 a month stipend whilst claiming to be volunteers. I mean, like, the level of corruption is just, it's humorous. Because you have one side that is just stealing money to build mansions, well, buy mansions and not building anything. Build a damn thing. And on the other hand, you'd be like, well, these guys, they're more corrupt because they literally just steal it and put it in their pockets. Only $10,000 a month. I mean, that is less than the $17 million worth of mansions.
And for me, the sad thing is that this, with any other organization, would be the organization burning itself down. But you know that people are too stupid to actually look at these organizations for what they are, and will still just attach that, oh, but if you don't like Black Lives Matter, you're racist.
You say this, but I mean, even on a leftist space like Twitter.com, I do see the responses, just everyone being like, thieves. Like, just thieves, corruption, thieves.
I mean, fair. I've just, when I've spoken to people on the street about it, there's still the very, very normie opinion.
Well, if you do have a friend who has a normie opinion, share this video with them. Because
yes, please do.
Even BLM are calling each other thieves.
And white supremacists.
So they say our hearts are broken at this moment because white supremacy is in the winner seat when a movement leader takes the approach of publicly calling out comrades instead of calling in. There you have it. Yeah, commies. In case you wondered, they are commies. But also, if you dare to point out how corrupt we are, that's white supremacy.
Oh, we've got the big capitalism word coming next.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, you know, some neo-Nazis fighting over their money in their coffers. And she's like, well, it's suing me, that's Jewish. Like, I mean, that is all this is at this point. It is non-strategic, short-sighted, and a trauma response rooted in the scarcity that white supremacists and capitalism has cultivated in our communities. I don't even know what to make of that sentence. Just, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's just the black version of calling each other Jews. Okay. It reflects a pattern that we see when money becomes the motivator. We are serious about deconstructing and decolonizing philanthropy. Well, then give away the money. No, you keep it. Okay,
you know,
shut up.
I'm sure there are plenty of black homeless people in America. Those big mansions, they could be opened up as like a community place for them to stay.
Yeah. John, if you can get this back on screen, because it's also the fact they say in here, we as black people and black-leg organizations cannot continue spending all of our precious time and energy fighting and tearing each other down. That is using the oppressor's tools.
Oh, no, not the oppressor's tools. Ooh.
Anti-corruption. That's a white person thing. Okay.
Well, just,
okay.
I mean, okay, so...
Do you insist?
Let's add it to the list. We've got... All right, we've got prudence.
The legal system.
Manners, legal system, and now... Yeah, now we've got anti-corruption. Okay, all right.
Yeah, well, it's just, there you are. If you dare call it about corruption to the hotline.
The funny thing is, a lot of these organizations, in ascribing whiteness to those relatively positive characteristics couldn't be a better advertisement for actual white supremacists if they tried.
I mean, it is like when the Nazis decided that all nuclear science was Jewish science, and it's like, if you
Well, how'd
insist,
that work out for you?
enjoy nuke. Didn't get to them first. But they say in here, we look forward to resolving this dispute with blah 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 blah. And then they ended off with, we're looking forward to continuing to be funding black liberation and investing in black joy. I was like, yes, for me and my family. There you have it. It's just literally BLM at this point are calling each other's thieves and corrupt, as in the grassroots guys are saying you're thieves and corrupt for all the mansions, and the other guys are saying you're thieves and corrupt for all these $10,000 stipends a month. If you have a normie friend who still believes any of this, who fell for any of this, even just remembers any of this, I mean, just send them this. You'll be like, right, okay, no one white even exists in this conversation, and instead what we have are literally the people at the heart of the movement all calling each other corrupt thieves, and when they get called that, they just respond with, yeah, well, you're white. Like neo-Nazis being like, yeah, well, you're a Jew. That is the level of discussion that has brought BLM to. It's a joy to watch, if nothing else, just to see how right we all were. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the Epoch series, this one on the Anglo-Saxon Game of Thrones. You want to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.